Good morning students, how are you? Okay students, now we are ready with part 4 of the lesson Microorganisms Friend and Foe. So let's have a recall what we have learnt in our previous class. Student, if you remember, in our previous lecture we have learnt about the use of microorganisms, like microorganisms are used for making antibiotics, they are used for making vaccines. Microorganisms like Rhizobium, Cyanobacteria are utilized. They increase the fertility of soil by increasing the nitrogen content of the soil, and microorganisms degrade the organic matter into simpler substances and add nutrient to the soil, and at the same time they help in cleaning the environment. So student, if you remember, the name of the lesson is Microorganism Friend and Foe. It means microorganisms are not always useful. There are many ways by which microorganisms are also harmful. So students, in this lecture we are going to learn about the ways in which microorganisms are harmful for us, for animals, for other living beings, and for the environment also. So students, will start with the word pathogen. Students, all the microorganisms which cause diseases are known as pathogens. So students, the disease causing microorganisms that can cause diseases in human beings, plants and animals, they are known as pathogens. So not only the microorganisms cause diseases in human beings, they also cause diseases in plants and animals also, and hence there is a word for pathogen. So pathogens are the disease causing microorganisms. Students, now the disease which spreads from a infected person to a healthy person by means of air, water and food or physical contact is termed as communicable diseases. There are many diseases around us which we get from the infected person. So there must be a means of transportation of the microorganism, and the means of transportation of the pathogens or the disease causing microorganisms may be air, it may be water, it may be food, or it may be by physical contact with the infected person. So any disease if spreads from an infected person to a healthy person by means of these, then the disease will be known as communicable diseases. So we have, if we will see certain examples of communicable diseases, we have cholera, common cold, chickenpox and tuberculosis. And many more such communicable diseases you can find in table 2.1 of second lesson of NCERT textbook. Student, there you will find the name of the disease, then the causal organism, which may be a virus, it may be a bacteria, it may be a protozoa, and the preventive measures by which the disease can be prevented from spreading, and the way also by which the communicable disease spreads from an infected person to a healthy person. So students, don't forget to see table 2.1 of your NCERT textbook. There you will find some of more common communicable diseases. Now, there's a word commonly we use as a carrier. See, if you see the word carrier in terms of biology, then it refers to the organisms which help in the transfer of pathogens from infected person to a healthy person. And the carrier may be a small insect, it may be a big animal. Okay, so we'll learn the names of some carriers. For example, we have housefly, and housefly is the most common type of carrier which spreads many types of diseases. And the second one is female Anopheles mosquito, and the third is female Aedes mosquito. So let us see how housefly is the carrier. See students, housefly, if if we make any food item and if we just leave it uncovered, the housefly may sit on it. See student, actually if we there are many things in the environment, and if the housefly is sitting on garbage or animal excreta or on any such substance which is degrading, which is decomposing, then the substance must be having many pathogens on its body. And when the housefly sits on that substance, the organic matter or the decomposing substance, then the pathogen sticks to the wings or the insect or the body of housefly. When we have left our food uncovered, the same housefly which was sitting earlier on the organic matter will come and sit on our food item that we have left uncovered. So ultimately it will transfer the pathogen to the food. Now if we eat the same food, if we consume the same food, then the pathogen will certainly enter our body and will cause certain harms in our body. So students, a housefly is the common carrier for many diseases, and you just remember it that the means of transfer of pathogens can be air, it can be water, it can be food, and it can be physical contact also. Then the next carrier that is mentioned in your NCERT textbook is female Anopheles mosquito. Now the same thing again, this mosquito, it flies everywhere, and wherever there is more amount of garbage, there you can find more number of housefly and the mosquitoes. And a place where there is stagnant water means the water which is not moving. So that particular place becomes a breeding ground for mosquito. So mosquito, when breeds in water and makes its population, mosquito breeds in stagnant water and increases its population. Now what is special about this female Anopheles mosquito, why it has been mentioned here? Because this female Anopheles mosquito is the main carrier, for a deadly disease which is malaria. And malaria is the common disease and it spreads in that area which are not clean. So what actually happens, this female Anopheles mosquito, it breeds in the stagnant water. From there it increases its population, and when this female Anopheles mosquito bites an infected person who already has malaria in its body, then what happens, the female Anopheles mosquito sucks blood from the body of infected person. When the blood comes in its body, protozoa, the name of the protozoa is Plasmodium, which is already present in the infected person, will get transmitted in the body of mosquito. So what has actually happened? The person who is suffering from malaria, he is already infected. So in his or her blood, the protozoa, which is Plasmodium, which is responsible for malaria disease, is already present in the blood. So when the female Anopheles mosquito bites, the blood is transmitted from the body of the infected person to the body of mosquito. And when the same mosquito bites another mosquito, when the same mosquito bites another human being, and who is a healthy one, the pathogen, which is protozoa, gets transferred from an infected person to the body of a healthy person. And you have seen here the means of transportation is what? The means of transportation is the blood. And what is actually being transferred? A pathogen, which is the protozoa, Plasmodium. It has been transferred from infected person to a healthy person. Now the healthy person will also suffer from the disease malaria because of the pathogen pathogen Plasmodium, which is a protozoa. So we have seen that female Anopheles mosquito is the carrier for a disease which is malaria. Next one is female Aedes mosquito. In the similar way, female Aedes mosquito is responsible for a disease which is known as dengue because it is the carrier of dengue virus. Now, here we should follow certain preventive measures so that we are safe from the diseases. If we want to prevent ourselves from the bite of mosquito, we should not let water collect anywhere in the cooler, in tire or in flower pot or any other place where the water remains stagnant for much longer time, because that becomes a breeding ground for mosquito. Next, if we want to be safe from housefly, then we should keep the food properly covered, and we should keep ourselves and the surroundings clean, so that if our surroundings and if our home, if we are clean, then the microorganism will not stick to our body, and the microorganism will not get a particular place to increase their colony. So we should try to keep ourselves, our home and surrounding clean, so that the surroundings remains free from the housefly and the mosquito. Students, as we have seen that pathogens carry disease in human beings, there are certain microorganisms which can cause diseases in animals and plants also. So we'll see what are the diseases which are caused by the microorganisms in animals. In animals, there is a popular disease called anthrax, and in this anthrax disease, it is common in cattle, but it can happen in human beings also. So anthrax is a disease which can infect a human being as well as the cattle, and this anthrax is caused by a type of bacterium. So it was Robert Koch who for the first time in 1876 identified the bacterium beside this, and the bacterium which is beside which is the causal organism for anthrax disease is Bacillus anthracis. So this bacterium causes the disease anthrax. So this is the first disease in animals. The second disease is foot and mouth disease in cattle. This is also caused by a microorganism. Now we have seen that microorganisms cause disease in animals. Now there are some diseases which are caused by microorganisms in plants also. So for seeing them, we have to refer table 2.2 of NCERT of second lesson, and there we will find some common plant diseases. I want to take certain examples. For example, citrus canker. So citrus canker is normally a disease of citrus fruits like lemon. Because of the microorganism, the lemon has certain lesions over, brown lesions over it, and it starts shrinking. Then the next one is rust of wheat. So rust of wheat is because of a fungus, and it causes the leaves of the wheat to become brown in color. And the third one is yellow vein mosaic of bhindi or okra, where you can easily find the veins on the leaf, because the entire leaf of bhindi or okra or lady's finger becomes yellow, and the yellow green patches you can easily see on its leaf. So the vein is clearly visible because the whole around the veins there is yellow color. So you can easily point out whether the our lady's finger or this okra or bhindi is being attacked by the pathogen. So students, let us recall what we have learned today. Today we have learned about the pathogens. Pathogens are the disease-causing microorganisms. Then we have learnt about the names of certain communicable diseases like And then we have learnt about some common carriers like housefly, female Anopheles mosquito and female Aedes mosquito. And we have learnt about the preventive measure, how to be away from these type of carrier and pathogens. And we have learned some of the diseases which are caused by microorganisms in animals and plants. At the last, a small topic is left, that is food poisoning. See students, if you leave your food which you have cooked and you leave that food uncovered for much longer time, or simply if you buy a food item from the market and you keep it for a long time uncovered without consuming, then what happens? All the pathogens which are present in the environment, they stick on the food item, and if you consume the same amount of the same food in your body, then they enter a path in your body. Now what happens? The pathogen get entry in your body and they start acting on the food that you have eaten and on the body organs also. So in this act, they start producing certain toxic substances, and when these toxic substances are toxic to you also, and they are sometimes poisonous to you. So if any person consumes uncovered food, a food which is left uncovered for much time and which has not been consumed, certainly that person will feel certain symptoms like body ache or stomach ache or vomiting or diarrhea, and this is known as food poisoning, and food poisoning may lead to death also. So students, we have learnt in this lesson that to be away from microorganisms, we should keep our surrounding, we should keep ourselves clean, we should keep our surroundings, our home clean, and we should also keep our surrounding clean. Then only we can fight against the harmful microorganisms. Thank you for the day. Students will continue this lesson in our next lecture. Thank you.